Hello, hello, hello. Fantastic. How's everybody doing today? We are just getting things started up. So let's give everybody a few minutes to get in the chat. If you are joining us, please tell us what your gardening zone is. Be sure to say hi over in the comments. Happy to see you here both on YouTube and on Facebook. I am Michelle, and I go live on the first Sunday of each month at this time. And we just talk about some garden stuff. And today we're going to talk about some fall gardening in Florida. So, very excited to do that. And I know this will be very hard to imagine, but I got more seeds. And so we're going to open some seeds too and see what seeds came in. Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, Habitual Hobbies? Good to see you here. I know that you're in zone 5A or 4B, depending on the weather. Did I get it right? Did I get it right? Everybody else, as you're popping in, please say hello to us, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. We love knowing that you're here joining us tonight. But I can't believe that it was like the weather today was just beautiful. I didn't get much gardening done, but I got out in the garden. I was out in the garden and out working on projects for a bit today. So that made me happy. And I just tore this label that I was going to read to you guys. So that's funny. Oh, I was wrong. I was close. 6B, 7A in Missouri. Missouri. Just kidding. Missouri. Close enough. Missouri again. Yeah, that's fine. No, that's great. That's great. We're so glad that you are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I saw that I guess the Baker Creek Festival is coming up. Habitual Hobbies. Alex, you're going to be going up to that this year. I think you did the spring show and took seedlings in the spring, but I don't know if you went up and do anything in the fall. Let us know in the comments. I'd like to know that. I want to show you guys too something I found. Very low tech, but very cool. And I'm trying to remember where I bought it. I think I may have gotten this on Haas, on the Haas website, but I'm not positive. But this, let's see if I can make it show up on the camera here. This is called Clyde's Garden Planner. And I bought this a while ago, and I just found it when we were cleaning up around here. And what's really cool about this is you have two sides to it. You have the spring, and then you have the fall. And what is cool about it, I don't know if you guys can see that red line there, is you drag that red line to what your last frost date, or I'm sorry, your first frost date for spring. And then from there, it tells you like when the dates you should be planting. And so like it says SI, seed starting indoors for tomatoes. I should have started that in August. Or peppers should be seed started in indoors the second week of August. So it's really kind of cool. Cabbage chart and those things. So that's pretty cool. If you've never seen one of these little things before, I know we all look at the packets for that they come in, and then the same thing for spring, but just the opposite. When is your average last spring frost? And for me, that's February 15th. And so then it just slides you over. Let's see if I can get close enough. I don't know if it's readable. But then you have all the dates across the top. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Oh, yay. Thank you, Alex. I'm glad you liked that soil calculator. I've been using it myself. In fact, I should throw that link back up here again because that's a handy dandy little thing here. It's Michelle. Oh, cool. Thank you. michelleinthemeadow.com/SC. Let me put the HTTPS in there. So if you were trying to If you're trying to calculate how much soil you might need to top off a bed or fill some grow bags or whatever, it works great. Hey, Michelle Urban, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But the soil calculator, if you all are looking for tips on how much soil you might need to top off a garden bed, you literally can just put in the size, the length, the width. If it's round, put in the diameter or radius, whatever it asks for, and how many inches of soil you need, 6, 12, and it'll calculate that up for you. And so I'm pretty excited about it because I have some, I need to order some more soil again. I had someone visiting, and their question to me was, and it was a perfect question, is like, it's October. How is it you have so much green stuff growing? How do you have so many things growing? Well, first, I'm in Florida, so that works out pretty well. It's still growing time here, but I told her my real secret is starting with great soil, because great soil is what feeds the plants ultimately. And so the great soil has good microbes in it. It has good bacteria in it. It has livingness. It has living organisms in it. And that in turn, which is what helps the plants grow. And so that part was pretty cool. And so how much soil you could pick up in your truck. Oh, that's perfect. Like, how much is a truckload? How much can we hold? Okay, sweet. And well, and two, depending on the truck, make sure you don't overload it so it scratches it down. But yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's another great use of that soil calculator. But the soil does make such a huge difference for how things grow. And I have seen the difference here in my garden. Even my neighbors bought, and when I can, there's a company nearby called Man in Overalls, and he sells something called Magic Mix. It's not cheap, but if you order it in bulk, not only do they deliver it, they will fill your garden beds, whether that means using a wheelbarrow to walk to the back. But in my case, I've left the property open so they can literally drive their trucks right up to my garden beds, and their crew will just, if my garden bed's ready, they will literally just shovel right into my garden beds. And so, and I love it. It's been great soil, and it does great for me. So it is a good truck. Well, it's good to have a good truck. I have learned, I changed vehicles a couple of years ago, and I had a Subaru for a very long time. And that was just a little workhorse, just a serious workhorse of a vehicle. And I could load up the back. I could put bags and bags of soil, and it held up. I have a minivan now, and it does not have the same cargo capacity. It's bigger, like the space for cargo is there, but it cannot take the weight of the garden soil like my Subaru did. So I like that I can fit more people in there, but it's not great for hauling big, heavy bags of stuff. So for sure. Perfect. 2 yards, 2 3/4, 2 yards. Yeah, that should be good. That should be good. You're a third less than the physical capacity. So that's great. That's great. So, it's really funny to think like it's fall. And I heard Jacques from Jacques in the Garden talk about this last year. This idea, when you live in a moderate climate like I do and like he does, he's in San Diego. I was going to say Sacramento. I knew that wasn't right. San Diego. And when you're in these milder climates, you basically are gardening year round, or you can garden year round if you choose to. You don't have to. There's no rule that says you have to garden year round. But it's the opportunity, especially if you enjoy it, you enjoy growing food. But it does sometimes feel like you never really get a break. Like it's just a constant gardening thing, because just as soon as you start one thing, there's something else to start. And so in the summer, and Michelle said, except summer. And even in the summer, you know, we have all these hot crops that'll still grow. So I planted hibiscus, which by the way, ooh, I'll get to show y'all in just a second. Hibiscus, okra, things like that, that were just plum happy. The peppers were plum happy. I still have peppers that I planted in February. This was the best. I bought starts. I planted 4 plants, and I have had all of the bell peppers we could use. We've bought bell peppers a couple of times, but for the most part, we have had plenty of bell peppers off of 4 plants. I might plant 6 plants next year though, just because at first it's such a slow going thing. But that worked out pretty good. Please tell me you're going to finally try to grow some garlic this year. I hadn't really thought about growing garlic yet. I probably should. It's probably, let me see what my chart says here. Let me look for my chart. Man, garlic's not on the chart. I'll have to look that up. It is probably time for me to plant some garlic. I need to figure out where I would plant it though. Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of space. I just need to think about what its requirements are compared to everything else. So I will consider it. How's that? Fair enough. Fair enough. So the Asian wing beans, yes, Asian wing beans. Somebody called it a tip to tail or a root to shoot plant. It's entirely edible. The leaves, from what I understand, always do your own research, but that is from what I understand, is the tuber that it grows out of is edible. The vines are edible, and the pod is edible. But you get a good bit of bean from the pod too. So even if you're just eating the pod, they really are about the size of a small cigar, you know, and so it's really not a bad size. So, oh, is it almost too late for garlic? It needs the fridge 2 months before planting. Ah, dang it. Dang it. Okay. I'll know better. So I need 2 months. So Michelle, I know we're in the same zone practically, though you have a little bit colder weather than I am. When should I have been ordering garlic? Because I don't think I've been seeing places talk about it. So let me know. Now, I told you all that I got my first packet in from Urban Harvest, and I got all that stuff planted. And then I got another package of seeds. Okay, September. All right, cool. September. Thank you. Needs some cold temps to grow properly. Okay. I will look into that, into the garlic, and see. So I think I know I shared with you guys. I got on the quarterly seed train from Urban Harvest, and every quarter they send you your next set of seeds. And so we got more seeds in. And these must be my winter seeds. Oh, I like it. This time they have all the card in between each one. So let's see what we got. I just opened it. I haven't done this yet. So this is actually going to be in North Florida. Let's see what this says. Bush bean, provider bush bean, North. It says September, February through June. I've had these sitting around for a minute. These have been sitting around for a month. So that's what I get for not paying attention. And then we have for January. Oh, I see. Because we're in different parts of the states. I see what's going on now. So depending on what part of the state you're in, it might be the time for plant that. This is an Eva purple ball seed here. No picture there for that. I'll have to pull that up and look. Eva purple ball. Let's pull it up and see what that looks like. That sounds cool. Tomato. Oh, it's an heirloom. Oh, pretty. Let me pull up some images of that. Ooh, how pretty. Here we go. Share screen, entire screen, screen one. There we go. So that's a pretty looking big old tomato. What a beauty. What a beauty. And then we have from here, let's see, we'll stop that. White Russian kale. White Russian kale. And for me, that says to plant July through March. So I could plant this now. I could start that. Next, we have solstice broccoli. Solstice broccoli, which I could start now. So that would be good. Though I might understand. I think the broccoli can take the cold weather for us up here. Then we have, oh goody, pigeon peas, and I can start those now, September through April. I do love that they give these little cards with this service. And so everything, there's information there on the back. There's some more details, fun facts. That's pretty cool. Oh, we got some Asian greens, y'all. Y'all know how happy that will make me. Tokyo Bacana. Tokyo Bacana Chinese cabbage. Oh, that's an interesting one. I haven't heard that name before. I have learned that there are a lot of different varieties of cabbage. And I know we would think, of course, there's lots of varieties, but okay, this is more of a, this is similar to something I've grown before. It's a it grows more like like collards than you would think of a head of cabbage. So it grows up like this. That's pretty cool. We've grown some cabbage that grows like this before that I started as microgreen seeds, and they made a delicious soup cabbage. It was a delicious soup cabbage. Oh, something different I haven't tried before. Next, we have the Mexican sour gherkin. The Mexican sour gherkin. Those are those little ones. I think a lot of people have seen those before. Next, we have, oh, nice. Oh, there's pictures on some of these. Oh, hello. There's pictures on the back. Goofy me. Blue borage. Blue borage. I should hold that up instead. So I'm looking forward to that. And, oh, good. Aunt Molly's ground cherries. I'm excited about that because they did not take the last time that I did it. So that'll be fun to see. And then just a little bonus tip. Oh, how nice now. Now a little bonus card. I can scan the QR code and watch some videos and answer some questions. So that is what all came in the packet from Urban Harvest. And again, they specialize in seeds that are great for Florida, heirloom seeds for Florida. And I joined their little quarterly club. And so they send the seeds out every 3 months, every quarter. And they give you these instructions to tell you when you should be planting them in your area. And, you know, Florida is such a different state from top to bottom that it is, I appreciate that they, you know, oh, in Florida, no, in North Florida, it's different than in South Florida. Another content creator I mention a lot is Wild Floridian. And I showed you her planner last time. I need to order my 2026 planner. But I love how she has a tip for North, Central, and South Florida when she does her Florida videos. So let's see here. Missed the window for starting seed. Yeah, because will it get too cold for broccoli? Will the freeze actually kill it there? Does it get too cold? I'd like to know that here. Ground cherries, I hope will be fun. I actually think that I had ground cherries growing on the creek, the property across the creek. And then they got mowed over and then I couldn't find them again. I meant to mark them and I forgot to mark them. Oh, well, it happens. But if I see them growing again, I'm going to put some stakes around them. So we have that here. So same here in Alabama. Yeah, right. Exactly. If you're down in coastal Alabama, it's completely different than up in northern Alabama, for sure. For sure. So this is not all of these, but many of these will be getting ready to go some seed starting there. And then I liked what I got so much from Urban Harvest last time that we talked about it, that I bumped into another Florida creator that sells seeds, and their channel is Jerra's Garden, Jerras, Jerra's Garden, and so they had a little seed club too. So I joined that too, because I think one of the cool things, at least for me, I love being able to support other creators that are on the platform, and other female creators too makes me even happier, because we do want to support one another for sure. So very cool. Now it would be funny if we got exactly the same things, but I don't think we will. I think everything will be a little different. And so very cool. Nice little postcard in here from Jerra. And oh, very nice. So seed club, and you can join the garden classes and other things. That's very cool. So here is Jerra's winter seed collection here. Let's see what a nice chunk of seeds here. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, watermelon radish, purple kohlrabi, oh, sorry, I asked a question and I forgot. I have kept broccoli alive in a bucket, not enough sun for them to head up. Ah, I see. It's a lack of sun. All right, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Now this is different. I've never heard of this before. Vero Flay smooth spinach. Smooth spinach. A green arrow sweet pea. Like that. Huh. Isn't this funny? It's two different companies. And so far, we don't have any overlapping seeds. This is even better. I was a little worried about that, to be honest. Detroit dark beets. Oh, man. Thank you for mentioning this. The watermelon radish is so pretty, but I need to find, is this it here? Oh, I actually have one more packet of seeds here. Because we don't have enough seeds. Oh, some bunching onions. Here we go. Shimonita Nijai XL bunching onions. I don't know why I need to go that close. There we go. Chinese celery. Very cool. I think the family will like that a lot. Grows best in cool or temperate weather and moist soils. In hot climates, grow in partial shade. Or 6 weeks before fall planting time. Okay, well, I have to see what happens. We had a white Russian kale. Now we've got a red Russian kale. All right. Cilantro. A purple bok choy. Look at that purple leaf. Very pretty. Paris Island cause, romaine lettuce. Interesting. And Sensopai hybrid cabbage. This is really cool, right? Like, again, seeds that will grow in Florida, just with a little different focus. The seeds from Urban Harvest were all heirloom Florida seeds, and not to pick on heirloom, that just is what it says, heirloom or not heirloom. And then from Jerra, we have a whole completely different seed class. Oh, and I missed it. I missed my window here. If I had opened the envelope, Jerra actually had a seed class to answer questions last week if I had been paying attention. So regarding the Vero Flay spinach, it's pretty good, but you like the Bloomsdale spinach with the bumpy leaves. Okay, that is good to know. That is good to know. I have not been able to grow very much lettuce at all outside. I might fire up the grow lights and try to grow it on the counter. I'm not sure. I just might do that. Now, speaking of radishes. I got to show y'all one more. Let me get this open. My neighbor, super sweet. I've made some really good friends here in the neighborhood lately. It makes my heart so happy. But she brings me compost. And so she brings down like whatever the raw veg is from the week. And so she brings me a bag every couple of days with some old coffee grounds and any eggshells and stuff like that. And so it's really kind of cool. I've got a steady supply, even from a second kitchen, to go into the compost. But one of the things that I have noticed is in the entire, every time that the compost items come over, there are always a few radishes. And so we were talking one day and she said, I always buy radishes because I love them and they go in my salad and they're my treat. And I was like, that is really cool. And we just had this lovely conversation about how much she loves radishes. Sorry, I'm looking for a way to open this. They mean that nobody was going to steal these seeds. So I saw an ad on Facebook and I clicked it, and I will say hello. I saw we had some new folks come in as I get done fighting with this. These are a radish Halloween mix. A radish Halloween mix. And now I'll have to see if I can bring that picture up. And so I think it'll be close, but I think we can actually have radishes, Halloween radishes, in time for Halloween. I mean, we're literally at 27 days right now, but see if I can find what they kind of look like here. They all sort of they're all using the same picture, but yeah, so they're really cool looking. So if you have not ever grown this kind before, of course, the regular red ones, but also there's black and yellow and white ones in there. And so I was pretty excited to get that. So I got some seeds and I'm going to help her start some radishes in a garden of her own. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so I may share the watermelon radishes as well. So those, my friends, are the seeds that are getting ready to go in the next round of it. So here we go. Hey, Anne, it's good to see you here from Plant Obsessed. I am excited to see more of your videos. I see things are starting to pop there at the new place. So can't wait to get back and take a look at those. And let's see. Hey, Jack. Jack just reseeded his Paris Island and they're sprouting after only 2 days. Now, I'm assuming they're in the laboratory, Jack. Geeky Gardens, Jack. Hello, my name is Jack and I'm a seedaholic. Yes, you're in, and it's not a terrible habit to have. It's a good habit. It's a good habit. It's a good habit. It's a good habit. So I have not had, okay, under the lights. All right, cool. I have not successfully grown lettuce outdoors. I keep trying to start it outdoors. And I will tell you, if you all watched the garden tour video, I was just as shocked on video as I was because I saw it at the same time. My amaranth, I had all my little seedlings started, but it has to be the snails, but they ate all the leaves off the amaranth and just left the stems. And so I had a whole container of amaranth and like 3 leaves, like 25 stems and 3 leaves. I transplant them into the garden anyway. Either they'll grow or they won't grow. I figure what's the worst that happens, so I need that t-shirt. Easily distracted by plants, easily distracted by fruit trees, easily distracted by permaculture, all of them. Seed catalogs, for sure, all of them. Habitual hobbies, Alex, that might be a really fun thing. I haven't decided if I'm decorating this year. I'm going to do a Halloween tour. I was thinking about that today. It just all is going to depend. I just want to get back in the garden more. I have been gardening. I just haven't, it's always an excuse. I haven't had, the time. I'm still doing PT for my knee, so I walk every morning. So that's been cutting into my gardening time. What a shame. But I went yesterday. I was so excited. I was going to shoot a garden video of transplanting all of the fall starts that I'd already started after our last talk, or 2 talks ago now. And I went to go light up the camera and start everything, and the battery was just dead as a doornail, and I couldn't even get it to charge. And I was so frustrated. And I just tossed it. And I was like, I'm just going to go to the garden. I'm not going to fool with it right now. I know you guys don't ever get upset or worried like that. I was like, I guess I'm not meant to record this today. We'll just go with its fate, right? So, how funny. How funny. Yes, got to get those worms. Got to get those worms. I still want to go over and see Mimi's. They are not that far from me. And I had conversations with Samantha, and then I had more surprises in my life than I had planned. And so I just have not made it over there, but I'm going to get back in touch with Samantha and go over and do a video of the whole place. And hopefully she'll still let me do that, because it's a few hours away. It's not that far. It'd be really fun to see an entire vermiculture worm factory. I think it would be fascinating. So, Inspired Garden Life has the t-shirts. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I like that. Easily distracted by seed catalogs. That's good. So, yeah. Yeah, I do have to keep doing my PT and take care of myself. Y'all, this has been, I can't even. It is not gone the way I expected. I thought it would be, completely pain-free by now. And so, so thank you, Alex. I appreciate those encouraging words. It's really been interesting. Now it's really great. I don't have knee pain at night. I don't have knee pain when I'm sleeping, which is when I really had my knee pain before I had knee surgery. It was just like my knees would knock, it would just fall over or whatever and knock, and it would just really be painful to try to sleep. And so I don't have any problems with that now, but I am ready to just walk across the garden and not worry that I'm going to trip on something and fall. So now, speaking of getting out in the garden, since I did not get to make very many tours, I was going to do sort of some of the behind the scenes pictures. You all liked that last month. And so I don't have nearly as many, but I want to share with you some of the things that happened while I wasn't making videos with you. And so first, I just want to brag on this little garden here. This is underneath my mailbox. I really wanted a garden here because right about here in the ground, the old mailbox was coming up, and I didn't have a way to get the metal out of the ground. And so I decided just to plant right over it. And I am loving how this has turned out and filled in really, really nicely. This gets full sun in the afternoon. And I'm not even hating the dollar weed that's popping up in here now, because it just looks like it's one more of the plants. And so I'm very excited about that. When we talked last time, I shared that I was having a lot of trouble with getting enough browns into my compost tumbler. And I don't know why I didn't think about this before, but I think I told you guys last summer, I stumbled upon and was chasing down all of the penny deals at Dollar General. They put stuff on clearance, and then when it goes to penny, it's supposed to be pulled from the shelves. But if it hasn't been pulled from the shelves, they let you buy some quantity of it. And there was one store that had like 25 or 30 bags of this potty mix. And so I paid, I bought over a couple of different times. I paid, I think 50 cents for some, and then I paid a penny for others. So maybe $20 in all in potting mix. And I got maybe not $20. I think I got like 40 bags of this stuff. And so, and it's just bone dry because it's been sitting around for a year. It has been perfect. It has been perfect for the compost. And it's really it's breaking down now, but it's starting to make smaller. It's starting to look like compost. That's the best way I know to put it, because it was nuggets, and now it's smaller. So let's see what Habitual Hobby said. Love the sign for the neighborhood dogs. Yeah, they don't read it though. Their parents won't read it to them, but at least it's there. And now that it looks a little nicer up there, it's not happening as much. So I don't know if it's now that it's filled in, they actually feel like they might be hurting something or not. But thank you. I do like that too. And so that's where I got sidetracked a minute ago too. I'm myself a quick note. Good soil. We were talking about good soil earlier. I'm glad that my struggles could inspire you to make a video too. I love that we've got a whole bunch of creators on here tonight as well. So that's fantastic. You know, it has just been really challenging, especially now my other sweet neighbors bringing food, as we always have a regular supply of greens to go in. And a lot of it's stuff I don't want to throw in the big compost bin because then I have to turn stuff. Though I should have taken a picture of it. I did take some lattice work, some plastic lattice that was laying around, and threw it on top of the compost bin. And so now I can throw some bigger things under it, and the animals can't quite dig in it quite as well. So that worked out. That worked out okay. So, $1.50 a Miracle-Gro. That's good. That's a good deal. $1.50 a bag. Absolutely. And that's the thing too. We talked about this last time is if you are broke and want to start gardening, you just have to know things. So you just have to know like groups to belong to on Facebook. You can do seed swaps, right? But the biggest thing to me is always the end of year clearance stuff, because I think that's where you can really get some really, really good deals. And I've bought much of the things, like some of the garden beds I got when they were on clearance, like 50% off. And others, I mean, I've gotten, I think it's about half of the garden beds I did get in exchange for making video reviews of them, which always gave my truthful and honest feeling about the beds. But I always shop the sales. Like I'm a sales girl. So for sure. Then we did have a little bit of a harvest. So we finished up our Cataly guava. Okra I've just stopped picking because it's gotten too tall and I keep breaking it off every time I try. And we are still getting bell peppers and eggplants still. I just took, this was the other day, and I've taken more off of the plant. It's one plant that I planted in 2023 of all things. I planted it in, was that 20? I'm sorry, spring of 2024. I apologize. Spring of 2024. And I overwintered it, and then it's been growing ever since. And it's just been giving all kind of food. So all kind of food. And now, if you saw my video, you know this already. I got 3 tiers planted up in my green stalk. We have culantro up here, and then cilantro in these two. And so once they start sprouting, I'm going to go ahead and plant another row of cilantro here. And in the bottom, Jack, you'll be glad to hear this. I found the seeds that you sent me. And I won't remember the name of them right now, but they're just like a cilantro, you said. And you said they're for the more in the spring and summer, and they won't bolt as quickly. But I want to plant those in the bottom, and hopefully I can have cilantro in that at the same time so we can do some taste testing. So fingers crossed for that one. And I think I know I shared this in the video, is I bought some pawpaw seeds on Etsy. It's funny, the mixed cultivars, they just give you a handful of different seeds. They have almost all sprouted, and then I have another variety that didn't, but I started potting those up as I have time. I got a few potted up, and so I am really excited about the ability to put in their mixed cultivars, which is what you need for pawpaws to fruit. You need different varieties. I am looking forward to putting some pawpaws back in the forest on the other side once we get our boundaries set, and put them just off the edge of the road a little bit, and maybe reforest with some pawpaws back there because I think that'll be really fun. So I think I have right now. I think I have 10 that have sprouted so far. So pretty cool. Yeah, that's it. Popolo or something like that. Yeah, I think you're right. Popolo. Good, good, good. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. The bell peppers have 20 on them right now. That's fantastic. You know, we are getting persimmons already. And I can tell you that last year we didn't get our first persimmons until almost the end of October. Um, and we haven't had the raccoons on them this year, knock on wood. Hopefully we don't get any because they were just at the end now too. So you know, if you buy them, I will say Plant Obsessed says I'm thinking about getting a few pawpaws. If you buy them, what I have learned, and I didn't know this at the time, is you do need different varieties. And so you definitely want to try to get one of each variety. I'm hoping in this bag of cultivar, mixed cultivars, I actually did get some cross cultivars. I bought two different kinds in the hopes that we would get some cross, but the whole other variety bag, not one has sprouted yet. But it did say it could take up to 4 months or more to sprout from seed. But in some areas, I think we can buy them in a couple of nurseries here. But just my advice for you, ask about crossing cultivars and stuff too. So hey, there you go. Yay. And I don't know how long it takes for them to fruit from seed either. It might be 7 or 10 years. I don't know. I still think it'll be really cool to have them reforesting in the back over there. So, um, I'm so sad I didn't go out of my way to have any cool fruit when I went to Florida. Yes, you'll have to go back. Yes, yes. And if you get down the eastern coast, you know, I could show you where all the cool nurseries are. But there's lots of we have a lot compared to other places. We have a lot of great fruit here, though we can't grow where I am in North Florida a lot of the tropical stuff because it just won't survive the winter. And so I'm very picky about that because I don't like to have to fight nature to keep something alive so much. So I just put in a self-fertile pecan and now we wait. Well, yeah, that's the time. I have half a pecan tree out back. It was dying and it has a bunch of holes in it, so it won't ever put on pecans. That's pretty funny though. So it's only a 13-hour drive. It's only a 13-hour drive. Whatever. It's just 13 hours for sure, for sure. Let's see what else we got up to out there. Oh, this I have to show you all. I'm so excited because, and the reason I'm excited is this apparently is not an invasive plant. Whenever I start seeing vines coming up, I get really, really worried. And so, oh, here we go. Y'all, would that not be fun to just get a bunch of garden creators and just get on a tour bus and just go look at gardens for the summer and just, whatever. Get somebody to sponsor the whole trip for us, get somebody to take care of our gardens. I don't know. I might not like being away from my garden that long. So, but maybe. But this here is a native. It is in the morning glory family. I was very, very concerned though that this was air potato. And I've tried to keep an eye on the air potato because the air potatoes are invasive here. And I was worried that what this will be because all the leaves look very similar. And so it's kind of weird, but it's not. And I think I'm going to try to get me some cuttings from this so I can put it in other places. Because at the moment, of course, it's growing back in the meadow and it's suffocating a tree underneath it. So, oops. There's that. There's that. And oh, look how y'all are talking over here. I love it. Yeah. Swing by. Oh, yeah. You swing by and get Ann. That'll be great. The party bus of the meadow. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. The famous Bellingrath Gardens. I don't know Bellingrath Gardens. I'll have to go and check that out. So, the the air potato, and this isn't an air potato, this is a swallowtail caterpillar. An air potato is an invasive yam that is non-edible, and it spreads through roots, but it throws up. Literally, it puts off a seed that drops, and the seed will take off from wherever it lands. And so it's invasive in Florida. They're it's in the yam family, but they're inedible. And I have them growing all along the bank. I see them growing down my fence line, even though we're not letting them grow all the way down. They're coming under the ground and tunneling underneath everything. And maybe they're popping up in the grass on my neighbor's side and they just get cut and they keep growing. But I see them headed up next to my sweet potatoes now, which is weird. And so, but they are differently aggressive. Well, I guess they would be just as aggressive as the hummingbird vine, but yeah, pretty aggressive, pretty aggressive. Talk to Samantha and want to plan a trip this winter. Hey, we could just all meet at Mimi's. Just all meet at Mimi's even. That's only, I think it's 3 hours for me to there. So Geeky Garden knows about that. Air potatoes, yeah. And so Bellingrath looks like heaven. Okay, we'll pull that up in just a second so we can all look at it too. Here we go. Michelle Urban says 2 types of air. The smooth one is inedible. The funky shaped one is edible. Is it the Scora alata, the edible version? Does anybody know? I'll have to, the Scora. Purple yam. I'm not sure if that's the same one. Let's see here. I was trying to find it real quick. No. Let's see. Let's see if I find a picture here. So here is how they look here. So an invasive exotic plant. See the vines, the leaf here? These kind of come down. They are shaped down. Whereas if we look at this one, let's go back. I was mistaken, but see how they do come around? So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Yes, in fact, David the Good is one of the reasons I really even considered it. I ordered the variety that he said was edible, and just kind of had a different. I had to chew on it because I try to be pretty mindful of things that aren't aggressive or invasive. But I think if you have an invasive edible, it's not as bad as an inedible one for sure. So. But yeah, so that's that. I just kind of thought at first when I first saw it, maybe it was the same kind of leaf. So, and these look a lot like the betel that I grow as well. And so, which is funny, the betel leaf looks similar to that. That's crazy. I guess not that similar, but a little bit. So let's see what else happened in the garden, in the meadow. So I found not one, but 2. Oops, I didn't take the other picture. I'll show you that one. Say I had 2 pictures. I found 2 swallowtail caterpillars out there. So if you ever see something like this on your citrus and you think, ew, bird poop, that's what it's supposed to look like. But it is a swallowtail caterpillar. And they will not defoliate an entire tree. I have never had to worry about that. I've had a few, but I was just really happy to see it. And we had an entire, actually, I'll show you this next one. I'll tell you what happened. So this thing, probably a part wolf, part dog, showed up in the meadow on Friday and dragged this whole bowl of food off and spilled it everywhere. Otherwise, I'd have never seen it. Scared the bejesus out of me, just so y'all know. It was very scary because I went to the back door and opened the back door and there was this beast on my patio. So Anyway, I wanted to tell because that's something that happened in the meadow this month. I thought y'all would get a kick out of it. And then, not for nothing, I have new seedlings for giant ironweed. Not because I planted them, but I had my seedling trays underneath where the giant ironweed was. And whatever I put in here, which was strawberry guava, I thought strawberry guava had popped up. I was so excited. But no, it is, and it's okay. It is more of the giant ironweed. So I'm very happy about that. And I also ended up cross doing Black-Eyed Susan. I must have gotten them when I was planting the seeds. I must have gotten some seeds stuck to my fingers. And so we have Black-Eyed Susan popping up with the garlic chives, but I think that's A-okay. And then finally, y'all, I have been waiting for my roselles to pop on. And this is the hibiscus plant, and it puts out the calyxes that people make, I think, hibiscus tea, or they make a roselle jam out of them. I have been waiting. They were collecting these in South Florida more than 6 weeks ago, and I am just beginning to see the tiny little flowers. So fingers crossed it'll work before it gets frozen out here. So I shared it, but my neighbor was throwing this trailer away, and I would happen to be walking outside, and it was on the curb. And I even went up to his door to knock and make sure he really didn't accidentally just like put it on the curb and then go away. No, he didn't answer, and I just rolled it on home. And so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to add some plywood to it and put some more wheels on it, and I've got my own trailer here, so I'm kind of excited about that. So stop talking, Michelle. There we go. So those are some of the things that were happening in the meadow when I wasn't making videos. And so, yeah, you're glad I explained the bird poo. Yeah, it kind of looks like bird poo, but it turned into a beautiful swallowtail butterfly. So that was a big old dog. And I have cats, and I am, I've only had a few dogs in my life, but I have never had a dog as big as that dog was. At least height-wise, it was thin, but it was probably, I don't know, if I had to guess, it was the size of a big German Shepherd height-wise, a big German Shepherd. So, I waited too long to start Roselle this year. Definitely on my list for next year. And I think I maybe waited too late for it as well, because I think I planted it about 5 weeks after they say. And so if it doesn't get calyxes this year, I'll go back and look at my pictures. This is one of the things I've talked to you guys about this. I love using my phone attached to Google Photos. It probably works the same way with iCloud, because I take pictures in the moment, and then I can go back and, put in there, start scrolling back. Okay, when did I get my first plant for hibiscus? When did I plant the hibiscus? When did I plant the onions? When did I see the first sprout for all these things that other normal people would put in a journal? I just scroll back and look at the pictures. So whenever I want to document something from the meadow, I just take pictures of it. And that's how I have all the pictures every month for everything. So, I think it's a stray. It was not aggressive with me. It was very fearful, because I screamed before I could do anything else and woke up the whole house and screamed. I was like, hey, get out of here. Because we also have outdoor cats, and I was hoping that he hadn't gotten the cats. But the reason I think he's either adapted, I don't think he's wild. I think he's adapted because he literally came up on the porch, followed his nose, and picked up the plate. And I have it on video. He picked up the plate, and as he picked up that black plate, he didn't have the metal plate, and so the metal plate on the inside spilled. And then he dropped the bowl when he realized what had happened. And then I came out about that time and screamed bloody murder at him, because it scared the crap out of me, to be honest. I heard the bang. And so I assumed the cats had jumped off and knocked something over, or the wind had somehow pushed it over, which felt unlikely. And so I literally pulled the screen door open, and pulled the glass door open, and pulled the screen open, and saw myself face to face with this creature. And so my heart skipped a few beats. It was scary for me. For those who love animals, and I don't dislike animals, it was just a very scary moment for me. I wasn't expecting that. So Now, what about you guys? What are you doing for fall? Are you done with fall? Is there anything else that you can grow in your zone? Jack, I know you can grow more than I can, but please share what are you guys? Because I have one last thing I want to tell y'all about before we take off tonight. What about for you guys? What are you growing? What are you going to try to grow? What's something you've got to get going or you just got going so that you get it in time before it freezes? And while y'all talk about that for a second, I am very excited that an experiment that I tried to start 2 years ago, and failed, and tried to start a year ago and failed. This year, I am going to get to try. And so my goal has been, this now being my third year, to have Thanksgiving dinner with sweet potatoes, whether they're made into casserole or served up, from my own dang garden. That has been my goal. I want sweet potatoes and enough for everybody to have some. And I haven't been able to do that yet. One year they were just so tiny. I guess I planted late. I didn't do good. They were so tiny, this big. And then last year I didn't get to pull them in time because I was traveling. And then I ended up having surgery. And so I didn't get to pull them. But this year, if we can stop having rain, my goal is around November 1st to pull a batch of sweet potatoes out so they can cure for 2 to 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. And that is my goal that I am very, very, very excited about. And of course, if I can get some other things growing from the garden, that's all good and fine too. Maybe we'll still have wing beans by Thanksgiving if it doesn't get too cold. So let's see what we got here. Jack is just getting started on those fall seeds. You got lots of time, and you've got your lab, so that helps you there too. Michelle is planting sugar cane tomorrow. Very cool. Very cool. Jack got the brassicas put out. Okay. Oh, you already had time to get them started after getting back from Idaho? Wow, that's fantastic. That's great. Plant obsessed, radish, turnip, carrots, zucchini, and cabbage in the ground. Man, you are on top of it. That is fantastic. Garlic next month. That's great. I just planted snap peas, carrots, and kale last week. Soon it will be lettuce, spinach, and succession of carrots, radish, and some cold-tolerant herbs. I have seed for some Asian greens too. Hey, that reminds me. When should I be planting carrots? Oh, let me check my Clyde's calculator here. Carrots in the fall. Frost date, November 29th. Expect to harvest. Oops. Plant outdoors September 20th. Well, that's 15 days. Maybe I can still plant some carrots. Maybe. Winter tomatoes are going slow. Yeah, but you haven't had a freeze there in a while. And I did not, all my tomatoes petered out and got turned bad. So I didn't even get any to overwinter this time. So, and then some garlic. Okay, cool. And that's good. Isn't it nice when things just hang around and want to keep feeding you? I mean, I'm hoping actually, I want to take good care of these peppers. I'm going to try to overwinter these peppers, I think, because I have overwintered peppers here before and it turned out just fine. And we do, and David the Good actually gave me this idea originally. And so it could be done in any sort of a way, I think. But he talked about moringa trees and protecting moringa trees from the frost. And so he cuts his moringa tree off at about 2 feet or 3 feet, and then builds a 4-foot fence around it and surrounds it, and then stuffs that full of straw. Well, I think if I cut my pepper plants down, to this height, I could take a like a trash can from the Dollar Tree and put and fill it up and cover it with straw like that, or take chicken wire and make it. But I was trying to think of a container that was already sort of made, or just put a box over it, for the winter. Though it might get moldy, but that's what I'm thinking, maybe on the peppers too. So maybe. Hydroponic system for mini tomatoes and peppers. Plant Obsessed, what kind of hydroponic system do you use? Or is it a flood and drain? Is it on a timer? Is it a vertical? I'm curious. I tested something in the past that I really liked, so I'm always curious to hear what people are doing. So I don't know. Let me check my calendar. Let me check my calendar here. I think we've checked twice so far. Now I checked the third time in jest. But it's kind of cool, isn't it? For those who came in late, this is Clyde's garden planner. I think that I got it from Hoss, Hoss. And you can, for the fall garden, you can slide the red bar there is your frost date, which mine is right here. And then you have all of your plants, and then you have your planting guidelines and time frame, and there's a little key underneath here. I don't know. I just think this is really cool, especially since I bought it. It laid somewhere and got put away. And so, now I'm glad to have it. This is great. A smaller carrot variety, little finger oxfart. Okay. Not oxfart, Michelle, oxheart. All right. That sounds good. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of that so I can find it later. There we go. All right. I did a batch of carrots this week and another in a few weeks. They are so much sweeter in the fall. Oh, good to know. I have not successfully had very many carrots. So, yep. Oh, yeah, definitely some mini tomatoes. They get better when they're sweeter. I can't say I didn't have carrots. I did have carrots because I have a picture of me after my shoulder surgery, which means this channel was out and I'm eating a carrot, and that carrot came out of my yard. So a laundry basket, perfect. A laundry basket, that's perfect. And just cover them up for sure. Okay, a little desktop one. Very cool. I've seen lots of different varieties. The variety that I have tried, they honestly, from everything I see in their marketing, they specialize obviously in hydroponics, but in the happy flower industry, in the indicated sativa flowered industries, for those who know that. And so, but it's called an autopot. And the autopot has a tray, and it has a growth inhibitor to reduce the roots coming out of the tray lining. And then in the pot, they have a capillary system with the way the soil sits down in the bottom of the pot, and they sit in that tray. And there is a little, think of it like a toilet float. And so once the trays are fully empty, it's an automated flood and drain. The toilet float drops, the water fills back in and it holds, and it doesn't add more water until the plants are done drinking. And so it does its own little flood and drain program. And they have them in big greenhouse settings. We had a bunch of small ones on our patio. I liked them. But here our patio is not level, so we would have to build. It would be very difficult. You've got to have a nice level ground to do it on. So, is anyone growing carrots in a green stalk? No. But maybe you could those mini carrots. Maybe you could with those mini carrots. Oh, it has an app. Okay, so that's cool. That's very cool. I've never tried carrots in the green stalk, but it should work fine, especially in the deeper ones. Yeah, I would think so now, because how big do those ox heart carrots get? I'm assuming we're saying a small carrot. We really do mean 6-7 inches, right? So where'd the other one go? I tried carrots in a 10-inch green stalk a few years ago, but they didn't do so well. Jack, do you remember if it was a mini variety or not? I love we're all laughing at me. I hope we're laughing at me. Ah, that's good. Little fingers. Okay, little fingers. There's another one. I don't think that's the other one you said. So I'll make it that. Okay, so the ox hearts are there. Okay, let's see. Oh, well, thank you. Happy flowers. I try to be the cool. I try to be the cool aunt. I have a T-shirt that even says so. That makes you less cool, apparently. But thank you, thank you. Um, the Kratky method. Now, we have messed around with the Kratky method too, and it was a pretty neat thing. Um, and for those who haven't seen the Kratky method, it's basically a single mason jar, and do you feed it just once, Anne? I'm trying to remember. Like you feed it just one time, you put all the nutrients in at once, and it's just designed that once it gets to the bottom, the plant's done or something like that, if I remember. So, um, oh, the ox heart ones are, oh, those are like big carrots. So yeah, that's a pretty big carrot. So, but still, I would think in the bigger pot, if you didn't put too many, you could. So, um, yeah, a little finger in the green stalk. Michelle, let us know how you do with that too. Let us know how you do with that. So, let me check my chart. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Alex, I think that'll have to be my sign off instead of remember. It'll have to be and remember to check your charts. So, no. I refill for the tomato. Okay, the lettuce and the greens are supposed to be once and done. We played with before I ever started the channel. I mean, I was gardening. I wanted to garden, and had a few small things going. But we tried the Kratky method. We tried starting plants with just a simple grow light, like that one little itty grow light on the counter. That was hilarious. That one little grow light isn't enough. I guess maybe it'd be good if you put it over a house plant or something. We did indoor seed starting. We've done microgreens in the house. We've done, I think we did, well, that was the microgreens, the lettuce in the house. I have done the bucket method. I don't know if you guys have seen, he's a very reverent, very kind content creator, and his videos are like lesson number 1, lesson number 97, week number 97 or whatever. He just talks about a lot of the same things, but it's a dual bucket method, and you have an outer bucket and an inner bucket, if that's the one. And then you have a hole in it and you fill it in with water, but it has sort of a wicking thing. And so it's part hydroponic, but it's not. So we tried some of that. That didn't go so well for me because you got to really stay on top of those, even though you're putting water in them. It got really hot here really fast. Grow bags. So, I mean, just all kind of stuff. And I think all gardeners do, right? We just keep trying different stuff. And sorry, I already showed that one. We just keep trying different stuff until we see something that sticks. I like growing in grow bags, but they're low to the ground. I like working in the Epic gardening bags. I mean, beds. I've tried Epic. I've tried the Vego beds. I've tried Forever garden beds. I've tried the Garden in Minutes garden beds, and they all do a fantastic job. They all do a fantastic job. Time will tell over time how the different paints hold up. I have some opinions. I actually want to talk about it maybe coming up for the 4th anniversary of the channel, talk about how the beds have changed in 4 years. We're seeing a lot of change on the wooden bed, which is kind of funny. It was unexpected. I expected it to actually last a little bit longer since it's made of cedar and all that stuff. But but you get into trying all these different ways. Of course, the green stalks, right? Because you want to try and see what works really well for you. And I think that to me is like the best part of gardening. We don't all have to do things the same way. There are lots of ways to grow a radish, but you do need some dirt typically for radishes. But I don't think those are as easy to grow hydroponically. But so. The double bucket is good for bucket gardening peppers and tomatoes. It helps when I forget to water. Yeah, it looked like the double bucket was going to be really good, but I don't remember. Something went wrong. I don't know if it was because the land was sloped and I wasn't paying enough attention. I somehow did not stay on it well enough, which makes no sense because you would think, or maybe we had too much rain. I don't know. There was something to do, and I was like, I don't think I'll do this again. But I still have the buckets because I can use them for other stuff. So, I love my big containers. And in fact, Habitual Hobbies, this creator that does the double bucket method, he is actually, I apologize. He's not the double bucket method. He puts things in the bottom of a big bucket. He uses mineral tubs. And so he will put like a whole bunch of aluminum cans that have already been opened in the bottom, or some other kind of milk jug or something that the water will hold in. And then he puts the fabric down in between and actually does the wicking. And then you feed it through a tube that bypasses all the dirt. And so, but he uses mineral tubs. That's the thing that he talks about. And he actually, in one of his early videos, we probably watched him off and on for 7 or 8 years. God, has it been that long? But in one of his videos, and they're in Oklahoma, and so they have a lot of problems. They don't get to grow flowers places. He actually does such a good job with this system that he has like one place in town that he had made these bucket systems for, but they built cages around them so that they were pretty and appealing. And so outside this business in the middle of Oklahoma, they're growing beautiful flowers in the middle of the desert. And nobody understands why, but it's the secret bucket behind all the facade. But he actually has some people there. It was really funny to me to hear it, but people there who have tropical plants, but they can't have a way to keep them warm enough in the winter. And so he has a plant greenhouse service. Like, I guess the plants always stay in a bucket at your house or whatever, or a giant container. His service will come and pick your plant up when it's time for winter and take it over and store it in his greenhouses until winter's over, and then bring your plant back to you and bring it back to your house. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I had never heard of such a thing. So I moved my normal birdies and all was good after 3 years. The rustic version rusted through. I was wondering about, and thank you, Anne, for sharing that. My rustic one got taken out of service, not because of the rust, but it was just in the way of like the plan that I was working on. And then it got crushed when a limb fell. And so now it is my holding area for buckets and planters. And it's looking pretty ragged. I'll be honest. It looks pretty ragged. And I've noticed that they don't seem to be selling that anymore. So, super interesting. Know his name. I will find his name. Give me 1 second here. Oklahoma gardener. I gave it way too much information. It's trying to tell me all about overalls. Gardening channel. What was this gardening channel name? I will find it. Garden and manure buckets. If I can't find it, I'll put it up on the channel later. Gardening with Leon. Here it is. Gardening with Leon. 144,000 subscribers. Super nice. Super nice guy. Oh, it looks like he hasn't made a video. Oh, he's on vacation. All right. I'll put this here. But he is steady. Now he does use hydroponic solutions. He does not talk about organic solutions, but you can certainly take the advice and figure those things out. So, I think so. Like Armsdale Homestead or something like that. I think so. Because I remember there was somebody who had come to his garden and then took it back to his own house or whatever. I think so. I'm not sure who. I have to look that up. Let me see if this is right. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that is. I saw him, he and Leon were on channel together. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, but it is interesting. The bucket method is really interesting. I'll pull one up here. Let's see if he's got any pictures or photos. I won't let it run and play, but I'll just I'll explain it. But it's definitely, if you are interested in some kind of a hydroponic setup, it is really interesting. So here is a setup of his mineral buckets. And so if you can see, there's a hole about right here. And so that will allow this bucket to hold maybe 7 or 8 gallons of water at any one time. And then he's got some sort of a layering system in here that holds the whole thing up. And then he has his soil. And then usually, now maybe he's changed his design. Oh, you can see him kind of in the back ones. Usually you'll see a PVC pipe, and then you pour your new solution within a PVC pipe there. So, Guy Hucho channel. That's right. And so here is Anne says there's an Australian guy, Herdo, who does that. He is Hucha right here, Hucha, also that does that. But it's pretty neat. If I had known I was going to talk about him, I would have found a way to get to some of the layouts of how he does the inside of the buckets, but they'll be kind of hard to find. But he even steps through ratios and what to use for what kind of plants. And so it's very, very hydroponic solution based, very chemical based, but those are his self-wicking tubs. That's right. Self-wicking tubs. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jack. I couldn't remember the dang name of them. But you know, it's another way, because here is the reality. I don't know. Not everybody who gardens feels this way, but I like having this skill. It's one more way I can take care of my family. Being able to grow food is like the most sweet possible rebellious act you can do, right? Feed your own family, take care of your neighbors. Such rebellion. And so, and actually, I feel so strongly about it. Today, we were watching a show where they needed to start a fire, and these people had the bundle all still bundled up tight of all the straw, and they were striking the thing about 2 inches away from it, like not actually touching it. And I looked at my wife and I was like, this is why you need to know how to start a fire. You just never know when they're give you some flint steel and some starter. You might need to start a fire. So that has been a joke around here. So, yeah, take up gardening because you like to eat. Yep. Absolutely. Garden 100% defensively. I love it. But, and in doing so, it's just a skill that I have, it's just a skill. And it's good to know how you might grow in different situations, right? I talked about all those different ways I tried it, but like, and you have your basement, and I think you grow indoors too in the winter because of where you are. Like, I don't currently have an indoor space that I could conveniently do that with. But if I needed to grow indoors for whatever reason, I would probably think I could figure that out, right? You can start figuring those things out. And so, if I needed to do more of the wicking tubs, or I needed to plant more in ground, in fact, I did plant in ground. Oh, I left that picture off the thing. I put in okra, and I did the newspaper method. And so I pulled back the grass that had overgrown the area. I literally just scraped grass away, put down newspaper, put down cardboard, punched a hole where I wanted the holes, punched them again because I didn't do it right, and planted out 6 okra plants, and then put just some mulch around it. So that's just right in the dirt. And I mean, it's downhill from where I've been feeding the soil for years. Let's go figure stuff out. So, if we don't, it's just one thing we can do. Anyway, I just feel very passionately about it. It's just so funny to me, having grown up with food security. I didn't have issue growing up. My mother did not have food security growing up at her time. She was born in the early 30s. She was a little kid after the stock market crashed. And so they got to eat what they grew, and they'd get a little bit of meat. There were 4 kids. They would get a little bit of meat. And unfortunately, my grandfather liked the bottle, and he got paid on Thursday, and they prayed that they could get him home with his check before he went to the liquor store so they could have food on Friday. And so if they didn't get a chance to buy meat or flour, and they didn't have any more chickens, they ate what came out of the garden. And so it was basic, pure survival. And my mom said she wasn't different than any other families. It's just the way it was. And so, I don't know. I just feel very passionately about understanding how. I don't have to do it perfectly, but that doesn't mean I can't keep practicing, trying, learning, and try a lot of different stuff you can't even get in the darn store. So there is that. There is that. There is a supply and demand issue since 2020. There is definitely a schism in the force, or there's I don't know, there's something. I would agree. And we can't get, like, if we get cucumbers, I don't like getting them delivered because they have not been good most every time. Like, how long is it taking these cucumbers to get to market that by the time they make it to the shelf and make it to my door, they're already bad, and so it's something is amiss. And we don't really feel the effects of things like fast, like when the housing market crashed in 2007. My business I had at the time felt it the same week, but it was really a matter of selling things that were unnecessary. We sold things you didn't have to have. But it took, other industries 18 months to feel the effects of that as things trickle down and slow down. And so, whatever, I'm with you. After all of the things that happened through 2020, our supply chains are different. Our purchasing power as a community is different. The decisions that are being made about logistics and supply chain and all those are different. And here we are, in October, there have been a lot of changes to tax laws and a lot of changes to tariffs and products that are coming in. And I'm not saying for, against, or political at all. It just makes things different, right? And especially when it takes time for those things to be implemented. And so that all trickles down and affects that. So I would agree. I could not afford to eat as much fresh produce if I didn't grow it myself. Groceries are expensive, and out here nowhere is outrageous. I will tell you, even here, we do eat a lot of fresh vegetables from our 2 gardens. We got almost no groceries we got just a few groceries and just we were stocking up on normal household stuff, like the stuff you get every 8 weeks, every 6 weeks, whatever, the toilet paper, bleach, blah, blah, blah. Our grocery bill was like over $300. I was like, holy crap. It's like we need to not run out of a bunch of stuff at the same time again. We better do better because that's a lot of stuff, you know. You can't run out of toilet paper and paper towels at the same time. Not good. So but yeah, and we do, you know, the persimmons and things like that. We take care of the tree, but at the grocery store, a persimmon might be $2 or $3 for one. And so we have 20 of them out on the tree. Yeah, so there's that. So for sure. Well, my friends, this was fun. Sorry if I got off on a little tangent there. It is kind of just a fun thing to think about gardening as a fun way to not repeat our parents' stuff, right? For me anyway. So had to put that stuff on auto ship for sure. For sure. I understand. I understand completely. And I have had it. We've changed how we've been buying some stuff. And so it's been a little different lately. But there are some things that are on auto ship that were too expensive at the same time. I was like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna skip a month here. We're gonna go these filters and these filters at the same time. No, they can't come in at the same time. So I know. Start planning like, sorry, can't party tonight. Gotta buy groceries. Can't go out and party. Sorry, guys. So, but well, my friends, I guess that is about all for tonight. If you guys have any final comments, please put them down below. I love this. Alex is going to become a coupon tycoon. Yes, do it. Do it. Well, and then, you know, you're in a small town, so it is what it is. As far as prices and competitiveness and stuff, it's just tougher. It's just tougher for sure. Good night, and thank you so much. So glad you could join us tonight. In November, what shall we talk about? I guess we can talk about what all we're going to harvest from our garden for Thanksgiving. Maybe that'll be a fun thing to talk about. What do y'all think? Let me know. Have a great night, everybody. And remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic day. Good night, everybody.